Hi, baby dog. Hi. She's gone. So hello, if we haven't met before, my name is Kiri and I'm a flower farmer here in Western Washington, Zone 8A. And it is November. I finished my first year flower farming and I never went to a farmer's market. I did end up actually going to a market. It wasn't technically a farmer's market, it was a craft market. I want to let you know how it went. So let's jump into the video of my process of setting everything up, preparing some of my interesting products that I made, and then we'll chat about how it turned out afterwards. Hey there, T-minus 6 days until the artisan market, and I am making some dried flower pumpkin posies. I'm following the tutorial from North Lawn Flower Farm, so I'll link her video down below. And I got these pumpkins at Fred Meyer for $6 for I don't remember how many, 7 I think. And these are from Prosser, Washington, so technically it's Washington grown. I was not able to successfully grow pumpkins in time for this market. So this is Spanish moss from the dollar store. I've had this for a while. So you just take some moss and you kind of figure out how much you need to cover the top here. And then I just kind of bundle it up because I don't like the loose little bits all over. And then you just do a little ring of glue. And you pile it on. So what this is going to serve as is kind of like our frog, or like our base to insert the flowers into so that they stick. And then what I like to do is build up a fluffy base the same way as if you were doing like a mason jar arrangement or something like that, where you would want to build the structure with the foliage. I've kind of been doing that and it's been working out well. So I'm starting with some hydrangea, and the cool thing about these is that you really need very short stems. So if you have things that just didn't make the cut as a bouquet flower, you can still cut those and use them. So I have, my celosia was super short this year, and that's okay because I only need the little fluffy plume part. Then I just go around and add a little bit of glue to the stem and build up my base here. And a little bit of flowers goes a long way. So this is really good bang for your buck. All it takes is the labor. So if you can work these out quickly, then you can make a pretty good profit off these. So it's a very loaded up base, but that's fine. Then I go through with my spiky bits, and I just cut these real short. And this is just the same as building a regular bouquet. So you want your different elements, your fillers, your sparkles, and then your discs and focals, and spikes of course. So in this one, my filler is the hydrangea, and the moss also serves as the filler as well. And my sparkle is this lavender. Lines are the celosia, and then my mass and focal flowers are going to be roses and zinnias. These are Queen Lime Red zinnias that were hung up to dry. They did dry pretty well, so I like these. This one looks kind of loaded up just because of the hydrangeas, but I think it's okay. I'll be selling these for 10 bucks a piece. There we go. Very cute. So I've diligently been working on creating products for this artisan market, but the work is not done. I have never set up for a market before, so I am going to practice today. I'm going to see how long it takes me. I did do a trial run last weekend, and that was super helpful because it helped me figure out that I need tablecloths and signage and things like that. I am going to set a stopwatch, and we'll see how long it takes me to actually set up today. looks like it took me just under 15 minutes. Not too bad. Let's do a quick overview of what we got going on. So I have a 10 by 10-ish area that's inside, so I don't have to worry about a tent or anything. So I have decided to do the U shape, which is a little bit bigger, I think, than 10 feet, but it should be okay, I think. So trying to get some vertical interest by using these bulb crates to hang the everlasting wreaths and then laying some on the table so it looks full. And then I'm trying to bring in natural elements like wicker and these wooden accents. So then I have some dried bouquets here with the little pumpkin posies here. Oh my gosh, don't they look so cute? Look at those. And it's looking like I will have some fresh flowers for this market, so the flowers will be here and here if I need to have all of those filled up. I'm trying to be really good about making sure that I've got my contact info, and then I'll be upselling the spring subscription as well. And I don't have a sign or anything, but I did order a poster, so hopefully that'll get printed up and then I'll just clip that onto the fabric. This is all the sachets that I have, so that's all I got. And then some bath salts and then bud faces over here. So yeah, not too shabby for my first time setting up. Hopefully it works out. So I am constantly thinking about ways to be marketing. And this is a really good opportunity to market that I will be at that artisan market. So what I'm going to do is feed two birds with one stone and deadhead these dahlias and also make it look like a fun post on Facebook to let everybody know that I'll be at that market and that I will probably have fresh flowers, which I'm really excited about. So I'm going to deadhead these and use them as a photo op. That's the secret. You wonder, like, how do all these people have all these pretty pictures on Instagram with like fields full of flowers, and like how are they doing all these beautiful flat lays? Well, that's because they need to be deadheading. Really, that's the secret. And yeah, when you see a field full of flowers, honestly all I think of is, wow, you need to deadhead those. What is up, flower friends? T-minus a few hours till tomorrow, which is the market, and I'm stressing. I have been super busy with work. I have felt very disorganized with all of my things, so I'm trying to figure out what I need to do. So my spare bedroom, where I do all of the wreath making and flower drying and computer work and everything, is jam-packed. I'm not going to show you. It's embarrassing. So what I'm going to do is try to get organized, see where I'm at, because I've slowly been working on projects for months, honestly. I'm going to bring everything out here, put it into boxes for easy transport for tomorrow and for organization. Then we'll see where we're at and then get cranking. And then I also need to go all the way over to a couple cities away to get a poster, because wow, that was a fiasco to just get my logo printed on an 18 by 24 inch poster. Don't want to go into that, but finally got it going. So I don't want to invest in a banner yet, but you know, poster is a halfway point, but man, that's expensive to get stuff printed. So anyways, let's get organized. Alright, so I'm using these baskets for display. It's kind of my aesthetic, can you tell? Yes. Got dried bouquets, definitely going to make some more of those. Here's my pumpkin posies. Oh girl, get out of here. Go on. Go on. Dried pumpkin posies and some more pumpkins here. So I know for a fact I need to make more bath salts. I need to make more pumpkins, more dried bouquets. Later today I'll be harvesting fresh flowers. We haven't had a frost yet, but it has started raining, so that's going to be great. So it's like spring on repeat. Let's work on some bath salts. So while my jars are drying, I just washed them. I'm doing probably the most tedious part of this whole process, which is disbudding the lavender. So we just want the little lavender buds to go into our salts. So I'll be here for a while picking these off. This lavender that is growing in the circle garden out front. This is all Munstead and English lavender that I started from seed. Very, very proud of that. This is the best for culinary uses. and it's pretty fragrant, so it works out pretty well. And then I am using some essential oils to take it up a notch. Alright, all that remains is sticks. And here's what I got. Once our jars are dry, we're going to go through and add in the labels. So I got these printed from Zazzle. I've got a front and a back. Totally messed these up, honestly. This one's on glossy, this is on matte. You know how it goes. And these, the square shape on this kind of semi-round shape makes it have some bubbles, but you know, we live, we learn. We pay too much for some labels and we just use them anyways. Hopefully there's no typos on them too. Just kidding. I'm pretty sure I don't have any of those. I did a bunch of research into this, and this is not legal advice, but selling cosmetics, you know, has different rules than selling flowers, obviously. And so, and selling soaps have different rules than cosmetics. So if you do this, you know, make sure you take a look at the rules. There's certain requirements in terms of labeling and things like that. This is pretty simple, honestly. So once you've got your jars all good to go, I'll just mix up my ingredients. My recipe is very simply Epsom salt, calendula petals, lavender buds, and lavender essential oil. And I figured out these jars can hold about 7 ounces, so that's how much it ends up working out to be. What it looks like, we'll just give it a mix. Alright, so there it is. I'm going to keep making a bunch of these and try to get as much done as I can. We gotta take a break from bath salts because I gotta harvest, but look, it's so rainy. Oh my gosh, rain gear is necessary right now. Alright, we gotta be quick. We gotta be agile. Take one last good look at them. This is probably the last time we're going to see fresh flowers for the year. I'm going to get making on some bouquets here. The moment we've been waiting for. Time to load up. So I know I'm a terrible YouTuber. I didn't do a check-in during the market, but there was just a very steady stream of people. Although it was kind of a slow market, it was very steady trickle. So I brought down just over $1,000 of product to the market, and I'm so glad that I had fresh flowers. I had 9 bouquets. That's the most I've ever had at one time. And I'm really glad that I had that because that is what sold mostly. I sold a couple bath salts and I sold like 1 bouquet of dried flowers, but people really were interested in the pumpkin posies and the fresh flowers. People would look at the dried flower wreaths and the dried flower bouquets. A lot of people thought that they were fake, which I take as a compliment. I'm really glad I went to this market to experiment and to kind of check in with people and actually get their feedback like in the moment, because I sell everything at the roadside stand, so I don't interact with my customers very often, so I don't really know how they're feeling about what I'm putting out there. A lot of people have said that they've stopped by the roadside stand, and the number one feedback that I got is that the flowers are beautiful and that they last a really long time if they've purchased them before. So those are two things that are on my priority list on my products. So I'm really happy. That means that I'm achieving my goals here. I didn't really have a sales goal for this market. I knew that it was going to be a little bit slower because it's just for my community. So I have 2,000 people that live in my town. That's a pretty small market. I am happy to report that I sold $350 worth of products, and 100 of that was a spring subscription. So now I am up to 2 subscribers for spring. So that means that I sold $250 worth of product at that market. I sold 7 out of the 9 bouquets. That's $140 in fresh flowers. So you can see, it was mostly fresh flowers that drove my sales. The customers that were coming through the market were typically older people, and like I said, it was a little bit of a slower market. And then just for context, all the other vendors were craft people. So, they were making like wooden signs and water bottles, with the Cricut stuff on it. So I was the only person with like an agricultural product. There was no competition in terms of like fresh flowers, but there was a lot of competition for fake flowers. If you consider all of my time and effort that I put into the market and all of the cost of goods for preparing the bath salts and the sachets and things like that, I think I lost money going to that market. And I had to buy tablecloths and things like that, although those are kind of more of an investment because I'm going to be able to use those over and over time. But yeah, I lost money going to this market, and I don't think that was a waste because I learned a lot of lessons from this. It was good to meet people in the community because I had a lot of people who stopped by the stand, but I've never met them. So they were like, oh yeah, I bought flowers from you, or oh yeah, I know your roadside stand. I've seen the box. That's what everybody said. Oh yeah, the box on the side of the road. The other thing too is that I've been a little bit pessimistic about the economy. I just feel like there's going to be some struggles moving forward with like crop shortages and things like that. So I personally am preparing for a not so good market next year. I talked to someone who was a vendor at that market, and she was a florist for 30 years here in this town, actually. It was really interesting to hear her perspective because I've been kind of a little bit down and a little bit pessimistic about sales and forecasted sales and things like that, and it was really good to hear her perspective. She said, no matter what the economy is doing, there's always going to be people who have money to buy flowers or who want to buy flowers because of the emotion. And that's a really good thing to remember, is that yeah, you're selling pretty flowers that are organic and locally grown and things like that, but really what you're selling to people is the emotions. And when you're leaning into your marketing, that's something to think about. And when you're worried about, oh my gosh, the economy's not doing well or things like that, just remember there's always going to be somebody who might need a pick-me-up that day, and they're willing to drop 20 bucks on a little bit of happiness for the week. So just something to keep in mind. Some of the negative feedback that I heard from a lot of the older people when they looked at the bath salts is that they didn't know what they were. They thought they were candles. And a lot of people said they don't have bathtubs. I found that kind of interesting. One of my bath salts is rose scented, and somebody was like, not to be mean, but I feel like this is kind of like an old lady scent, and I'm like, I feel you. Love it or hate it. I think that's kind of how people feel about rose. I'm really glad I did this market because it's helped me identify things that I want to focus on moving forward. My house, like I said, is really small. It's 900 square feet, and I have a carport. I don't have a garage. So every little bit of space matters to me, and I can't be storing a bunch of product. I don't have space for it. My guest room is overflowing with dried flowers and things that have not sold. Moving forward, I think I'm just going to focus in on the fresh flowers. Although, I could make more sales with the value-added products and the wreaths and the dried flowers and things like that, I don't have the energy at this point in the year. Like, I'm still planting out ranunculus and cleaning up beds and things like that, and I don't have the space to store inventory. So the fresh flowers are great because they're outside, I pick them, and I move them. So they don't spend a lot of time hanging out in my house, which, it's a good thing. Roadside stand, subscriptions, fresh flowers, that's it. I'm going to finish planting up my ranunculus for next spring, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.